Can everyone hear me? Oh, crikey. Yeah, this isn't necessarily going to be a long stream. We're going to see how much of a new mainline railway we can build. Oh, crikey, Mikey. How's everyone doing? Are you all there? First of all, I'm going to go over here. Let's go over here. And then I'm going to get this back up again so I can see what's going on. Right. I don't want to do that. I want to do this. Is everyone there? Can everyone see me? Can everyone hear me? Oh, what? YouTube is just shambolic. Right, we are currently looking at a map. Here's a map. It's a map of the map that we've been playing in Transport Fever 2 so far. The master volume is I think it's quite low anyway on my streams. Let me just check. What's that volume like? No, that should be fine, actually. I think that's fine. I'm coming out at classic -20, where it stays in the nice and green. In any case, right, we are looking at this map because... So last time we were here, we were looking at... I showed you the fact that this little railway existed, but then we also established this railway, the Great Western Railway from Southport to Flitwick down here via Shanklin, which now has a tram system. A branch line has appeared now connecting Stevenage and Orpington. Oh, actually, a branch line has also appeared connecting to Blackpool and Stratford. I didn't draw that line yet. But I will do. So that's where we're at in terms of this is 1857 on the game. So we've so basically there's a sort of a growing bit of passenger network down here, which we'll look at in a minute. Down here, there's a kind of a new passenger railway that's kind of appeared, which is connecting some of the urban area around the city of Bradshaw. Now, there are lots of freight railways everywhere. They're kind of crisscrossing all over the place. I thought we'd look at building the first kind of dedicated passenger main line, which is going to be this thing here, connecting Bury, the city of Bury, through Haverhill, Rougely, Maghull, Penton, and into Shanklin. That's the plan for tonight. So, let's make it happen, essentially. Let's, without further ado, go into... So there's the map. You can go into the Discord and find the maps. I'll post the images that I've shown here, and you can see future plans for where the railway is going to dash across all over the place. But and you can see the shipping lines. There are lots of shipping lines. So quite a bit has happened since the last map. In fact, quite a lot more had happened previously, but somehow Transport Fever 2 deleted it. So there was a lot more purple that I'd already drawn. That's all been self-deleted. So we're gonna have to start that again. But I'll take that as a blessing, not a curse. It gives me a chance to have a little rethink about what I'd done. So never mind. In any case, let's get this up and let's go over to my OBS and get the old game face up, and also do this to make sure I can see what's going on there, and get Transport Fever 2 up and make the magic happen. So, where were we? So, how is everyone? Are you all well? Let's get some music up. Oh, are you all there? Yes, likewise. Kieran, hello. So anyway, what were we doing? So this is Southport. This is sort of the headquarters of this railway that we're building. This for anyone on the stream who hasn't watched this before, this is essentially me distracting myself from my day job by doing my day job. So you can see there's a bit of railway that's curving off, making use of the existing freight railway lines. There's a bit of passenger network here, kind of railway whizzing off up to... There's the line going through Blackpool and off up towards Stratford over here. There it is, whizzing off, kind of, again, making use of existing freight lines. So I'm trying to tell a bit of a... Basically, if you want a realistic-looking Transport Fever 2 map, you need to tell your own story. You need to kind of think about the history of which your railways developed, because railways only look realistic when they're an absolute mess, frankly. So there's this Flitwick down here. Oh golly, so many things that I'd done in the previous version that have disappeared offwards, which is deeply annoying, to be honest. Anyway, there's Flitwick. It's not Flitwick Annex. It's going to be Flitwick Pier. There we go. I'd renamed all my lovely harbours, and they've all unrenamed themselves again. Sad times. In any case, we need to build some form of terminus down here in Shanklin for this new railway, because generally you'll see they'll start with the new stations and then they'll do the joining up. They'll sort of you don't start with the plain line. Generally, you start with the really fiddly bit, which is the big stations. It's true in Transport Fever 2 as well. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and work out where a big terminus station is going to go, where it's going to fit. As if it fits, it has to kind of come fairly central, so ideally it's going to kind of come in and meet this street. But if that happens, then we need to move the tram depot for starters, which isn't necessarily unrealistic. Perhaps that's what we're going to do. We need to have a think about size. How big is this thing going to be? Because if we build a terminus and it's got 4 platforms, how long is that going to be? And can we stick it up in the air in such a way that it can go over the Great Western Line? Can you all hear me, by the way? Oh, crikey, and what on earth are you doing up in Hong Kong at this point? Right, so, if that was to go, I'm not saying what we're going to plonk this here, but I'm just looking at what the extents of the station might be. This doesn't look too bad, so if we pop this here, 160 metres of railway, pop this here, but pop it up on top of a hill a bit, I reckon it would get over the top of that, and we could start disappearing off in this direction, which is where we need to go for our mainline. So to do that, I think I'm going to build a bit of railway first. Firstly, to do this, to get rid of this bit of road. So let's get rid of that first. Then we're going to build... So if that's to be straight, we need to think about a straight line... bit of straight line track going this way. And we're going to do this. This looks like madness for now, but trust me. There we go. So that's kind of what we need, okay. Just gonna build this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, because 4 is the height over tracks. We're going to do that way. We need that to be level. Doesn't quite look level, does it? Well, we'll come back to that. All we need is for broadly to be matching what it looks like there. So that's that. There we go. Now let's see. Can I just shorten that a little bit, because I think 160 metres will lead into that. There we go. Let's see if this is right. So you'll see what I'm about to do in a second, because I'm about to utilise this snap function. Actually, that's a bit too far, so it needs to be a bit shorter. Okay, that's fine. I can do that. Let's go... if I want to shorten a bit of track, I'll do... No, I won't do that because it's on a bridge, so it's getting confused. Actually, I can just do this, I think. Anyway, how is everyone? Are you all well? Yeah, had an interesting start to the week. I have not had an interesting start to the week. It's been a busy one, so I needed to zone out from everything and just do something like this. There we go. How's that looking? The trouble with this is that it's a bit... I think this bit... I'm just going to get rid of it entirely, because I think we need a bit of distance to be able to get up to this level. Because how much of a hill is that on? It's quite high up, isn't it? It's not too bad. I'm at peace with it. So which direction are we going to need this to be? I think the other challenge is making sure that this fits with the... Yeah. So, yeah, I'm still a little bit jury's out on exactly how this is going to fit, because it's got to make sure it also fits. If we build that, it's got to fit with the stuff on the other side as well. Yeah, so I'm going to take the advice of building it using the old chevron keys, and then we'll make everything else fit after that. Now, let's see if this is enough. Because it also has to get over the railway. That's the challenge, is that we're also having to get over here, which I've got a sneaky suspicion this won't get over the height. This won't do it. It's not high enough. Yeah, it needs to be higher, which is kind of why I was building it the way I was. Let's see. Let's try that again. Let's see if this is going to be big enough. Now it's too close. Yeah, okay. It's going to be a tricky one, this, you know. It's going to be a tricky one. Because this is the sort of challenge they had coming into places like London, when they had all sorts of railways that did exist, and then they had to weave a terminus in amongst it all. This is going to be our challenge, but we're going to rise to it. I think I might continue my original approach, which is, but I'm going to do it on the first. I'm going to do this over the 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do it over the top of the wider part of this now, just to. There we go. Yeah. It's also, I think, a little bit lower as well. That's nice. Okay, right. Now, let's start this again. There's a road collision. That I can deal with because I can just kibosh this. Doom, doom, doom. What do we think? So if I build that, how high above everything is it? It's pretty high above everything, let's be honest. So let's see what that looks like if we build the road where it needs to be. Is this nuts or is this inspired construction? Let's have a it's kind of hard to tell because we'll build lots of thing behind it. You know what? I'm going with this. I'm going with it. They've this new railway company's got the big pennies behind it. It's has no fear. So now what I'm going to do is just level this out a bit behind. Let's get the brush size up a bit. There we go. Just smooth out the terrain a bit behind it. Lovely. Right. Now let's configure this thing. So, is this didn't go for a big one, did it? No. Yeah, of course it's not happy with the. Let's go for small in front. Oh, they always do that with the Now, have a little think, because I think I want. Build the station in a cutting, so the slope of the existing trains weren't your favourite. Yeah, possibly, but we're also kind of close to sea level, so you don't want to go too far down. So it's a bit of a, it's an issue they have to deal with. There's a lot, yeah. So now, all I'm trying to do is think of kind of some level of kind of symmetry to this, which is such that I think I'm going to have. I think I'm going to do this slightly differently, where I'm going to build. No. There we go. You might be wondering what on earth is going on here. So it's only because I think I'm going to go for and then actually I'm also going to get rid of these at the end because they aren't going to use the full length platforms yet. I'm also going to get rid of the roof for now because this railway's of an era. So let's have a look now. What does this give us? Does this start giving us something a bit more? So I need one more. Which direction am I going to go for this extra track? Yeah, I'll be right. We'll get over that, no problem, right? Yeah. It's good, it's good. Right, so let's get our passenger building back. It's going to be... Where was it? This is the kind of... Yeah, there we go. There's a decent bit of grand sort of station for platforms for the moment. It's got a decent size to it. There we go. This, of course, will be Shanklin Central. There we go. That looks to me like a bit of a... There we go. I'm happy with that. For now. So, what... I'm missing all... Besquicklehausen is here. Yeah, do plat, track, plat to fit more tracks. It's true. I'm going for a slightly different aesthetic Besquicklehausen. So, that's my excuse. Is this for aesthetic reasons. But whether that actually holds up, we'll see. The other challenge, of course, is that this is going to mean that all the intelligence of the double track that the game has is just going to be thrown to shit. But never mind, we'll worry about that in the future. Good, that'll do for now, and hopefully, because then I'll worry about the station throw it once it's got over everything. I think that should be us. Good. So this, there we go. I'm also going to just do some of this action as well. Very nice. Who else is in here? So, oh right, yeah. So, so the logic for this, my logic for this is essentially one of sort of aiming for. The thing is, Besquicklehausen, you have now made me slightly doubt myself because. So what did I do there? Because. Yeah. So this is going to be a railway that's going to end up probably being a 2-track railway to start with and a 4-track railway in the future, and so eventually I'm going to need a way to merge these fasts and slows further off. I'm also going to need them to drop in the station throat to have lots of nice space for the throat for the S&C to kind of smoosh. But the double... see, this is one of the things I haven't explored much in the game, which is actually loading speed, which is something that certain pros who are on the feed are better at. I've never really got to the point where loading speed mucks up the game much, whereas I feel like that might be a thing this time. Shall we... first of all, I can come back to that. So if I did have me double track, which side would I do it, I think? Yeah, because I suppose... I don't know what the equations are in terms of what they constrain, what they actually consider to be constrained. Okay, let's delete this. Let's delete this for now. There we go. Everyone's just watching this like, what's going on? But it's important we get this right, folks? In which case, I'm going to go for the double now with this. There we go. And I think that's what I'm going to do. And that's... So now if I've got that there... So I've got my 2 tracks in the middle, which kind of... That's even better. That gives me a nice design aesthetic. Let's then do the same on this side with the 2... There we go. And let's... What was this? Double platform. Yeah. That is... What was I aiming for? Oh, I got rid of one of my station buildings, didn't I? And then I want a final platform on the outside here. I think I'm now at where I want to be aesthetically. There we go. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And I can actually add additional platform. I've got an additional set of tracks that I can add if I so fancied in the future. There we go. I'm where I want it to be. Shanklin Central is complete. Marvellous. Right. So, let's now do some of this action here where I blow things up again. Just get that out here. And the same as this. Yeah. Missing a track. There we go. Lovely. So now if I go across here, there we go, and up to there. Oh, challenge mode is that this now needs to have a gigantic earthwork, which is fine, because earthworks are fine. We have unlimited resources because, you know, I don't care for money. Speaking of which, let's just boost these numbers. There we go. So what I'm going to do now is have a very simple station throat, as simple as I possibly can have it. So longer required. I'm going to keep this going out for a decent length. So if I keep this now going, I might. Do I want to? I'm going to keep this flat for now for the sake of the S&C. So don't want to have any vertical curves. I'm going to keep a nice flat area. This will be where the. Oh, what I have done is done that on. People often wonder in the chat, why are you listening to the SimCity 2000 soundtrack? SimCity 2013 soundtrack? I've just done it again. I'm not concentrating. Concentrate on the buttons. If anyone was expecting a pro feed, I am very sorry to disappoint you. Railway engineers are not necessarily pro gamers. Doesn't necessarily work that way, much as it'd be nice if it did. So, what I want to do is start with, yeah, I'm going to just do this because I want to get that onto earthwork as quickly as possible. Likewise on the other side, just do that, and there we go. So I'm now going to do a nice, oh, come now. I might just have to do this to get it to work out what it's doing. Come on now. Straight, stay straight for now. There we go, that's what I wanted. How's the sound balance, by the way, folks? Alright. That's what I wanted. Marvellous. That'll do. And likewise on the other side. Let's just get that straight going there. Lovely. Perfect. And I will come back and smooth all that out at the moment. This is Shonky. Dealing with tech debt is like 90% of transport management games. Yeah. So what I'm now going to do is I want a 40 miles an hour, 70 kilometers an hour connection through here, and then likewise do the same thing on the other side. 70 kilometers. Why you do this? Why you do this, game? There we go. Again, 70 kilometers an hour for our turnouts. So we've got 70 kilometer an hour turnouts. Marvelous. That's 40 miles an hour, which will do for this day and age, frankly. Let's get rid of those. Now all I need is to be able to is then a nice 70 kilometer an hour. Simple as you like. This is a big railway company with lots of money. It's not like our Great Western, which is a bit more limited. This is the big cash. So let's now go here and just do some of this action as well. Lovely. So now I've done that, I can start to flatten the railway down. However, I'm going to leave that there for now because I don't want to go off shooting off in a direction that isn't necessarily the direction my railway needs to go in. So I need to firstly get my map up so that I can see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to get my map up. There we go, lovely. So I know which places I am connecting up to. So let's whiz off over here. So the next station is going to be Penton. So I need to basically, and this railway is being built for passengers and for speed. So even though the trains that they've got at the time at the moment, I think they're still pretty much can't go any faster than 40 kilometers an hour. I've still got like, what is this, 1857? So I've got the little tutor. However, what have we got? Yeah, this thing is all we've got. However, that's not stopping me thinking into the future. So we've got a railway that's going to be going from Shanklin over here. It's going to come along, be a bit of a curve, so minimal number of curves. So we're going to have a curve here, then straight. This isn't a high speed, like a modern high speed line. I'm still going to give this an element of feeling a bit like a kind of, you know, the Great Western Railway style fast of the time. But even then, if you look at the Great Northern or the Great Western, they were building pretty straight lines. That's why I laugh when people talk about the Great Central Main Line being a high-speed line. It was built with far more curvature than either the initial Great Western or the Great Northern. In any case, so there'll be a straight line that will cut through some of the fields here. So ideally, kind of a straight line, kind of chomping through like this. To be honest, it's the sort of probably there's this big old bit of road, Shonky Road, that I can probably just obliterate as needed to when the main line goes through. But essentially, a straight line is going to do something to then arrive into wherever we build Penton Station. So before I build that straight line, I need to build Penton Station. Then from Penton Station, we're going to Maghull. So this again will need a straight line coming through, kind of slicing its way through whatever's going on here. Probably, so you see, there's an existing station at Maghull. But I think we're going to build the new station is going to go close to the central business district, which I presume is kind of where all these tall stuffs are built. Off of the Mercian. Hi Gareth, a trackman from Walsall. Just got my white helmet, working at Curzon Street in Bromford HS2. Just wanted to give a shout out to the saviour of West Midlands commuter rail, the Class 323. Nod to the Class 323, everyone. Good grief, there's a lot of there's much of the chat going on. When you get to the modern era stuff, are you going to smooth the alignment? Yeah, very much so. I'll be smoothing the alignment. My kingdom for elevated stations in this game, says Besquicklehausen. Yeah, there's some shortcomings in this game, such as like the lack of actual metro rail involved, which is frustrating. I bet there are mods, but you kind of have this weird world where you've got trams. Actually, it's a bit like Britain, where there are no metro lines, there are just heavy rail and trams. There's no middle ground, so I don't know, maybe it's actually quite realistic. Perhaps. Cheers, John, pleasure to have you. Have a nice meeting. The stream is giving you... Well, hopefully this is going to get it's going to develop as we kind of build more things, and as I also reinstate what I was building down in Bradshaw, and I'll show you what I was up to there maybe shortly. Anyway, from Maghull, we're then going to continue. For anyone new to the feed, it's like ADD Central, so I do bounce around, I'm afraid. From Maghull, we're going up to Rougely, so we're going to negotiate our way around this terrain. So if I get the old... Yeah, you can see there's some terrain to get around there, so... Again, where we build the station kind of makes a difference there. I think, however, again, there's an existing railway station here. There's an existing freight station that's already been in use. So I've got a sneaking suspicion that will get reused. The fact that you can't delete existing industry is kind of annoying in this game. I don't know how you do that, but I don't think you can. I mean, I suppose it gives, as a PW engineer, the fun is in dodging things, right? So I shall dodge around that. Yeah, that is true, Besquicklehausen. They are very small, the city, so it kind of would be a bit contrived. So, yeah, part of my plan in this is to try and boost these cities as much as I can. So I need to really start getting more of the old freight pumping into them. In any case, that's for the future. And then basically, there's this existing railway. So as often happens, you'll have a mainline railway that's like, oh, you know what? It's kind of with this nice little curve through this little coastal. It's quite a nice little coastal town here. So this station's getting rebobbed. We'll need to kind of move these freight platforms possibly slightly out of the way and have the through platforms as the passenger line kind of alignment. But what you'll have is, so these existing stations, by the way, through into Bury Station, which this existing freight terminus will then obviously get quite expanded, quite a lot expanded. To accommodate, and possibly with a new road kind of coming on this side, pretty standard to reclaim land for urban areas. So this station is going to get a bit bigger. I can foresee my main passenger sort of buildings actually being on a face to a new road on this side, rather than where they are now, which kind of cocks up where the trams are, but never mind. So, what to do next? I think what I'm going to do is precisely that. I'm going to expand Bury Station first. So, the first thing that requires me to do is to grab this and do this. And probably a bit more of that too. Yeah, lovely. Thanks for catching up, game. Hi, game. Lovely. Yeah, marvellous. I'm going to get rid of the C. The C has been got rid of. There, that's kind of what I wanted, actually, a bit more like that. There we go. Nice bit of reclaimed land. They've drained something. Not a swamp, but something. And it's the C. They've drained it. We are going to start building new platforms. So that's the freight bit, and we might as well leave that as it is. However, is this going to be as substantial as the other station? Well, I'm not so sure it is, because it depends on... There are a lot of bits of railway that are going to pull in here, so I can see this getting big quick. For now, I think what I'm going to do is get this involved first. So I think this... Yeah, how far have I done that? Yeah, that's it. So I've kind of prepped this for being quite long. And then passenger platform. And then more tracks. And then more platform. And then another track. And then another platform. Let's see if I do these as here, lovely. Will I need it to be that long in the future? Probably not. Let's think about passenger buildings. So I'm thinking this is like the headquarters. This is the main railway of the Great Central. So I need more flat land for stars. Well, that's easily done. Lovely. Let's go. Go big or go home. Marvellous. Nice bit of reclaimed land for our new railway station, you know. Nice. Town city, they get to transfer the niche pretty nicely. Yeah, it's very true. They grow a lot. If you, there's no chance I'm keeping up with the chat. If you want to, if you've got something particularly you want to point out to me, do at my name in. So where was I? Yeah, configuring this station. Passenger buildings. Let's get involved. We're going big. Do I want to plot that? Yeah, plot that here, I think. There we go. And then maybe like a. I think that's grand. So that's going to be our station building there. Maybe I'm going to go for like a. That's not having any of it. Let's make that a bit. I know what's going on here. What's going on here is not straight lines. Kind of ideally don't want to bulldoze everything in sight, but that might have to happen anyway because of the road layout here. That's gone, everything's gone, folks. It's all gone. This is going to be a big and wide road, I think, anyway, so no. There we go. And let's do the same again here. Oh, golly. Well, it's hard, isn't it? There we go. Let's do that. And at last, I think we'll have the connection. There we are. Marvellous. Now, do I want to... what do I think? Do I want to kind of continue this road along? Yeah, probably. This will probably then get gobbled up by like strange development, but that'll do. Let's just swing that up there just to complete that. I think this now means I should be able to finger. I don't know, it's still blocking me off of building anything because I'm dumb. Anyway, no, I'm really dumb. Like I'm more dumb than you might have expected. There we go. Let's just build those in there and just have kind of nothing in this corner. It's just an empty corner of nothingness. There we go. Let's just increase that brush size and do a bit of that just for now. Lovely. And some more of this as well, just to make it look pretty. There we go. There's our big station. How many platforms did I build in there? Just so five passenger terminal platforms there. Let's see how that goes in terms of unloading. How is this looking? Let me just, yeah, okay, let's go for connecting up the platforms with an underpass. And you know what, this one is going to have platform shelters because I'm generous. Of course, this is, although it isn't very central, very central. There we go. Let's also do the old. Right. Now this is more complicated as a layout because we kind of, so bearing in mind the era that we're in, let's first of all get rid of this. This is going to go ting ting because stations aren't yet there. There's the ting ting. So this station layout, the challenge with this sort of swing to the side setup is that this needs to, you basically need to do different things. So you've got the challenge of capacity of if you have a single distributing line, a bit like this, that can constrain capacity a bit. So what we're going to do, well, actually what I'm going to do is have two main lines that are going to continue, and everything's going to fan out of that, and then the two main lines will then double junction, given the era we're in. The two main lines will double junction into this. So first of all, let's just connect that in with a fairly low speed. Actually, I do want a bit faster than that. Let's go for... Actually, by that point, I can probably... I'm bouncing around. For starters, let's just connect this up. So, what year is this? 1857. So this is the era of grand, everywhere has to connect to everywhere sort of station layouts. So, that's the sort of thing that means double junction, double slips, and all that good stuff, which you didn't necessarily get. You don't necessarily, well, in fact, you do not build interstations nowadays if you can possibly avoid them. So that means I could do something like this. Which one was that? That was that platform. I could do a double junction like this, and then, so what was that? 70, 70, 70, and then just have double slips here to connect the track. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do something more like. Let's see. I want this to be 70 again because 70 kilometers an hour is nice. There we go. 70 kilometers an hour. That's a little less than 70, but we'll forgive that. Likewise, if I go up here, that will. So because of the distance here, I think what I might do actually is from this point where the S&C is start a bit of a. Yeah, that'll do. A bit of a 90-mile-an-hour curve towards this other track. Yeah, there we are. And then if that probably, yeah, that'll do. The thing is, the sensibility of me is that this is now a bit of a straight, and it should be a straight, but I can't draw short enough straights to. Ah, yes I can. Yes, I can draw short enough straights. Perfect. That'll do me. Nice, like a real straight. Perfect. Lovely. And then I've got my geometry into my double junction, which is going to be at 90. There we go, 90. A bit higher speeds. I'll tell you what the issue is here is I bet this is one of my, signalling. Always getting in the way. Signalling discipline. They just always can't help themselves, can they? There we go. This is the night version of clear skyscrapers, isn't it? I recognise anywhere. So the other thing I want to do is get. So this track needs to kind of be accessible from all of the others. How am I going to do that? Well, seeing as this is a freight line, I'm thinking something inelegant like this, to be honest. Because I don't care too much. It's auto-saving. Don't care too much about speeds on this track. These tracks now. Which means I can turn that to double slip. Lovely. And the only thing now I need to do is make sure that all roads have access to all other roads, which I'm going to do with a... there we are. 60 and 90, that looks nice and balanced to me. Lovely. That connects up for anyone going that direction, and then we need the same in the other direction. But I'm going to do that on this side here. You notice I'm not leaving much space. That's going to be an 80 because I'm going to make it a 50-mile-an-hour switch. There we go, 50-mile-an-hour crossover. So this is quite a substantial bit of track work here. This is like, yeah, it's kind of to scale, but not accounting for the fact that the actual real map isn't to scale. In any case, that's our Bury station. You see, see how much space station layouts take out. This is a pretty simple kind of track layout. But this is, yeah, there's a lot of this sort of. So, for example, you just would not put slips like that into a modern track layout unless it's 1970s Britain and you're rationalising the throat to King's Cross, you know, the main access to the east of the country. But let's not talk about that too much. What else is going on here? So we've got, we've got our our giant Bury Central Station. Well, that's all fine and good. So what I plan to do is to work my way along. What time is it? 1813. Oh, the actual clear skyscrapers is playing. I'm pretty sure I have it on shuffle. Official government request to use of Paris to move the tramway in Shanklin to the road that connects to the central station. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Not doing a use in sticking your station hall, your ticket hall in the most awkward place possible. Yeah, these are all very good suggestions. Let's do the Shanklin one first. Good point. Let's go up and modify the tram line in Shanklin, which is not over there. Oh god, see, it's so easy to get lost. Shanklin is over here. Yeah, let's move the tram line up so that it's up here. Very good point. There we are. Tram line, boom, boom, and let's. What's oh golly? Oh, that's the road thing. Okay, fine. I do need all that. That would probably help. Good, right. So there's tram line there, so I kind of need to actually bulldoze those. Yeah. They're gone. Yeah, they're gone. Now I just need to go. So which is the tramway I'm looking at here? There we go. I took 4 tram lines here, didn't I? Because I'm greedy. That's the one I want. And these 2 don't exist anymore. Boom, they're gone. It's gone. Gone. And gone. Well, I need to do it. So Church Road, and then I need to add tram lines, don't I? That's the problem. Okay. Tram lines, yes. And upgrade to this, please. Thank you very much indeed. Good. Here we are. Right, so Church Road, and then add a station here. And then what was it the other way? Queen's Road, coming back the other way, and we're going to add a station here again. And obviously this is not Park Lane, this is Shanklin Central. There. I think that's about right. There we are. Lovely. These people won't be very happy, but be right. They've got that's fine. They've got a tram line on that side. They're kind of it all. I'm happy with that. Does the job. Station disappears out. It's going to be busy. It's up on a hill, but hopefully it'll get all. Hopefully lots of roads will appear around it, and it'll kind of get built up, and it'll look broadly convincing. Maybe. Let's smooth this out as well while I'm at it. There we go. Lovely, 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 lovely. Good, grand. So that was Shanklin. So let's. Where are we going to go next? Let's do our station in. Where do we need to go next? We need to go to Penton next. Should we do the station in Penton? Let's do it. What's the actual time? 1816. How long have we been streaming for? Many time. Oh. Official government requested. Okay, the other. Right. Okay. Good. Right. We need to work out where the station's going in Penton. So to do that, I kind of need to think about what the alignment's going to be. It's going to come in a kind of a straight line. But the challenge it's got is it has to circuit. It does have to circuit. There's going to be a curve because it has to get around this bit of lake. What is this? A minor estuary here. Which kind of means the station's going to be going in a bit of an alignment like this, I think. So coming through here, which means are we going to build on the outskirts, sort of passing through a bit like this? I kind of think that's what we're going to end up doing. What does that connect to? Just a farm? Do I give a stuff about the farm? No, not necessarily. Being highly distracted by the very emotive music coming from me. Thanks Chris Tilton and your wonderful orchestral sounds. If we did swing it along here in a straight line, which could be quite good, that would mean that we need to do something like this with our roads. Let's do that. Straight line, no trams. Now, is this the alignment we want? Is this the alignment I'm looking for? In fact, do I want it to kind of be like that, or is that too? That's too shallow. It's too shallow. I think that alignment will get us around the lake. Good, and then we can whiz in, minimise our number of curves. Excellent. Okay, good. That means we're going to bulldoze this and this, and build ourselves another station. Passenger station. We're going to have 2 tracks. Because Penton, or are we? We're going to have 4 tracks, and we're going to have 4 tracks. We're going to go for 160 meters here. We're going for 160 meters. There we are. Hold shift to rotate slightly for anyone using the game who isn't familiar with that trick. There we are. 4 track. Now, what's the default 4 track here? Ah, damn it, of course it is. Kind of don't want that. I kind of really want some through. Well, basically, what I actually want is a totally different design of station, which is going to be more like this. Let's see. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's delete that. Let's do that. This is. You might be thinking, what is he doing? Well, the fact is, these stations, the default stations, never quite do what I want them to do. Because what I actually want is a set of fasts going through the station, and then 2 flanking platforms. Simple as that. Let's get rid of the ones on the outside there, and we do need to have an underpass to make sure we kind of get through the station. Which, where is it? Yeah, there's one there, isn't there? Perfect. And just shove a roof over that, and then another one there. Lovely. That's more like it. So this is going to be my kind of standard station layout for these. Actually, what do we want to do architecturally? Are we thinking the nice sort of side bits there, or should we get rid of those and have it as a sort of a stout building with two stout? There we are. It's going to be more grand than some of the other stations. That's it. Nice. These are supposed to be opulent. This is a big new railway with lots of cash behind it. There we go. So we've got two fast lines that allow the trains to kind of whiz through without stopping, because we're definitely going to have express trains running from the two stations, between the two stations, so we don't want to get in the way of those. And then we're going to have we've got our nice flanking platforms as well. So now we've got to make sure this works. So let's do just this, which is get our main line running through here. Fingers crossed. Let's go along here. So it's a bit of a the game is a bit weird when it comes to topography. I know that it just doesn't deal. I've kind of ignore myself, like the state of the vertical alignments that you come up with. The game kind of creates itself on this, but some of its weird humping is just strange. It really is just strange. Have we just gone up a hill that I actually just want to kibosh? We have, haven't we? Yeah, I'm just going to kibosh this hill. So is everyone. Is it quite small enough to go underneath, do you think? I don't know if it is. If I do that. Yeah, I want to do that anyway, so that's fine. Then we'll build a bridge over the top later. No bother. What are your thoughts? If I was on the approach of King's Cross, I'd simply not use a double slip. I'm built different. Well, they did close one of the one of the three tunnels approaching the station did get sealed off until pretty recently. It's still sealed off. It'll be in use. I'm not exactly sure what the program is for it to be actually in use, but not in the too distant future, I don't think. Just so I don't forget, let's do this now. Oh god, right. The game is a bit awkward. Is a little bit awkward in the ability you have to sort of I kind of want to go has that worked? Well, it's worked in the sense that it horribly has not worked, I suppose. Why has it been a dimwit? This should have done it now, I think. That's more like it. Lovely. It's always weird. So you'd never have... The railways were always built in Britain, certainly. When you had a masonry arch structure like this, the arch would be built with respect to being parallel with the tracks. It's quite a unique feature that's only... You don't see them very often at all in Britain, to have the... It makes it a simpler structure to have it... the skew... Sorry, the skew of the piers being parallel with the bridge going over the top, the thing above. But actually, it's more awkward from a railway. Generally, from the railway, it's built. The brick will always be parallel with the railway because it would generally minimise the span of the structure and so on. If you have a skew like this, it means you need a larger span, even if it makes a more repeatable bridge. So only when concrete came along did a repeatable structure where you had the piers like this become more common. There's only one bit of railway where you can see piers that are set in this sort of angle in Britain. And it's a bit of railway that, for any of my common watchers, will know I love very much. I'm sure you shall hear about it more in the future. Enough said about that. So, right, going to connect it with that. That'll do nicely. There's our nice bridge. Let's continue our railway. I've made a bland assumption that this is right, haven't I, basically? But I'm going to kibosh all that. It's only a sterile monoculture field anyway. Not a big deal. Just need to make sure now that when I... so now if I connect... Just need to make sure... No, it's not. The snap. Snap is helpful. Snap, be my friend. Thank you. But this... I'm probably going to need to come a nice straight line along here like that. So actually, I don't need to demolish that much field. I probably just need to kind of... Now, what's the... Oh, it's coming through at quite a... Yeah, that'll do. Thank you. So, So now if I do a straight line through here, trying to, if nothing else, get an idea of. Oh, of course it's clashing with the road. Yeah, well, let's do. Is that sort of the angle I want? I just kind of want to get an idea of the angle at this point. So there's going to be a straight line connecting off the end of the straight here and whizzing along here, joining up with the track there. Yeah, lovely. Cutting through there, smashing through there like there's no tomorrow. The thing is, that requires a bit of a direct reverse, which is not so nice, actually. Which makes me think I want to do something slightly different. As you know, I always build straights with, I build my railways as straights connected by curves, not as curves with straights in between. And that's, if you want to make your railway look realistic, then that's what I would always recommend. Build straights first and then join them up with curves. Always have a much more realistic looking railway, if that's the sort of thing you're going for, 6 fields will be removed. Oh no. I think that is broadly approaching where I want to be, actually. How's that? Yeah, I think that's actually straight. There we go. Is that working? Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay. There's my straight line. So now what I need to do is join up this with fairly flat curve. Ideally, let's just match those up so I can see roughly what I'm doing. Let's connect that with. Just trying to match these so they're about. What you can't see right now is me using my fingers on my screen to make sure I'm getting a broadly equal handed curve, because there's nothing I'd like less than a unequal curve. There's a lot of vertical curve in that horizontal curve, isn't there? Well, thanks to the game, we're just going to have to not worry about that for now. Vertical alignments do wind me up in the game. You have very little control over them, and they do all sorts of magical, wonderful things that you've never seen in real life, but get over it. How long have we been streaming for? 50 minutes. If you're at MN, you can have a hump bridge. Does the hump bridge thing actually work? I've never found it to actually work very well. Now I've done that, I need to cut through. I think now that I've got this skew angle, actually that straight is going to be a bit like that, and then I'm going to whiz off in this sort of direction from here. Yeah. Something like that, probably. How's that curve going to be? It'll be alright. Yeah, that'll work. Nice big cutting, lovely. Another cutting with a tunnel, yeah, whatevs. Kibosh through some forest. The Victorians loved it. I think we're there. I think that'll do, actually, because that then allows me to just do a single curve connecting these two, which I think is fine. Nice. Speaking of which, let's do just that very thing. How is that curvature-wise? That's fine. Collision. What am I colliding with? Oh, well. That's it. You're no longer road served mine. That's the end of that. You kick up a fuss and you lose your connection to the rest of the world. Right, that is going to join in with that, I think, and I want that to be like that. That. There we go. That's all right. Actually, I'm at peace with that. And this is the inside of the curve, so just going to do this one here. Yeah, good. And let's connect this, so let's see what I can do. 108, 110. Oh, was that peaking about 110, wasn't it? Ugh. 112 it is. That'll do me. That's reasonably realistically flat. I was going to try and aim for 120 throughout, but I can flatten it up in the future. That's no problem. Let's just smoosh this over here. What am I colliding with? Oh. Oh, it doesn't like it when it gets too long. That's understandable. There we go. good. Yeah. It's a bit flat. Let's go for... That's a bit shallow. Let's go for this here. Lovely. 120. Ugh, that'll do. Good, good, good. I think that's more like it. There's a nice curve. There's another nice curve over there. Oh, we've built our first stretch, and it looks pretty horrifically straight and kiboshy to me. I like it. I'm happy with that. That's sort of what a mainline railway looks like when it's fast, flat, and straight. Let's just build our throat down here. This will be a nice, easy one. It's going to be a... No, I say nice, easy one. No. What speed are you giving me? No. Come on. Well, that's quite something. 80? Go for 80. Let's go for 100. There we go. Let's go for 100. Get really open out if it needs to. So now where are we going in this direction? This actually kind of looks like we're broadly going the same direction. Oh, no we're not, because there's a thing in the way. There's always a thing in the way, isn't there? In which case... How jittery is the stream, by the way? Has the jitteriness gone away entirely from that we had in the stream previously? Has it gone away? No. Stop Shanklin to Bury. Yes, that's the sort of campaign I'd be expecting. The Victorians didn't have it. They just... Everything happened around the... Oh. Well, that's one way to do that, game. I figured you didn't do that sort of thing. There we go. That's more like it. Thank you. Would I class Pacer as light rail unit or heavy rail? The Pacer is nothing. It has its own categorization, which is should never have happened. There we go. That's the most... what we do need is the ability for turn back, just in case. So we're going to put in a nice 50 mile an hour turn out. Crossover here. There's one there, and then another one in reverse in the other direction. Just for a bit of operational flexibility. If we need to turn a train around, it gives us the opportunity. It's very weird, isn't it? It does funky things at 50. I presume there's a node or something there. Anyway, 81 it is. No one will notice. So let's do 120. Good, that'll do me. Now, is that too far in that direction? Oof. Let me just delete some of this rubbish. There we go. Now the trouble with this, so this is going to be an annoying direct reverse curve. It's flat, but it's ugh. I was hoping to aim for like pretty much dead straight, but we're not going to manage it. So we're going to have to deal with a bit of a. If you can include an intermediate straight within a reverse curve, you always should. That's my top tip to you. Now, really what I need to do is draw the straight line in the other direction to see what I'm going to hit, actually. That's probably the best thing to do. We've got Mag Hull. So Mag Hull is already surrounded by a fair amount of stuff going on because it's next to Mag Hull. Of course, Mag Hull's famous Jams and Jellies Limited here, providing foodstuffs for one and all. So we've kind of got to get our way around through that at the same time as not... Well, I mean, what is this provided? This was the... what is this, actually? What is this provided? Jams and Jellies and the brick makers. Oh, okay. So it's this is bricks coming in, bricks and food coming into Mag Hull. This place might grow quite a speed. Causeway is always an option. Silky smooth. Oh, I'm happy to hear it. So we've gone around that oil thing. We're going to go through. We've got to think about where we're going to connect up to next because we're going. So next we're going to Haver Hill. So. Can't get distracted and disappear off. Rougely is where we're heading next. So the next station is Rougely. So we kind of want to go through... Okay, so... Tell you what, let's do Rougely station next, because I think we might end up joining in the middle. Besquigglehausen might be gone. Besquigglehausen, if you're still there, it's a pleasure having you. Some proper transport stream royalty on here. It's quite something. Very exciting. Right, so I need to configure this place. Before I configure this place, I need to think about what I'm going to do in terms of the road. I think what I might do is just bulldoze all this. Those houses, they're done, they're gone. No, let's be nice and do that. Yeah, and then bulldoze that and that, but leave some of the houses there. So, currently built as a freight line. There we go, that's fine. So we need to have 2 freight platforms here, but we also need to get rid of these and then expand with some passenger platforms. 2, 3, 4, and some tracks. Now, what type am I going to go for? Am I going to go for the same as the others? Well, if I can fit it, let's see why not, to be honest. What have I got coming through? This is Rougely. What have I supposedly got coming into Rougely? Not a huge amount, actually. So I've been looking at my map, that PDF, the PDF I just showed you, just to sort of see what's coming through, because it might be that I need to create terminal platforms in some of these. But for now, we're just going to build as a single main line. It might be that we need to do some station upgrading as these get busier. That's fun though, so I'm at peace with it. I'm going to go for another one of these. Yeah. Let's build it on the side. Yeah. Bit of difference every now and then, it's fine. Oh, and the cargo building, which we're going to build next to it, which is... that's huge. Let's go for... there we go. Just to give it some extra beef. Some nice extra big cargo stuff going on. Lovely. Yeah, more nice warehousey bits and pieces going on. Lovely. That I think is... oh, no it's not, because I need to build... I need to really get people from one platform to another, and also let's give them a... marvellous. If I delete that, is it going to delete those? Yes, it will. Okay, that's fine. Let's leave them then. Rougely Central, of course. This is. And also, we need to rename. Oh. Why is it doing that? Oh, it's because I'm still in the configure thing. That's why. Marvellous. There we go. So I mean, that's that. I need to then build some of this action here. Oh, but Squicklehausen is here. Quite well. I don't know how this lines. I don't know if you've got any other permanent way engineers that you have doing transport feeds, because most of the stuff you do is more about the economics, and I therefore find it fascinating. It's more about the history, the economics. But for me, when you're doing stuff like this, you've got to have a bit of it all. It can't. The engineering only looks so realistic. You have to have some of the context, which is kind of why we're doing some of this history. This is kind of talking about the very rough history of why infrastructure looks like it is. So my focus is more on like, how does the infrastructure specifically end up looking like how it does. And so, for example, when I'm talking about double slips, you'd only use those if you're doing modelling an old railway, because they're a nightmare to maintain. And if they're a nightmare to maintain, it means you need to labour needs to be cheap. And post Second World War, labour was not cheap, so they kind of faded from popularity. Certainly, as then you have a railway that's so busy that trains are passing, you never get access to actually maintain the line. It becomes less about labour and more about the cost of Schedule 4 or Schedule 8, as we have in the UK, when you have to pay the train operating companies to actually access the line, at which point you want your infrastructure to be completely bomb-proof, which slips are not. So anyway, that's what I'm bringing to the YouTube nerd doing videos about trains market. In any case, that's our station. It's a bit of a fatter one there, you see. Got some warehouse action going on. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So this is going to whiz off towards Maghull. But what's it going to do in the other direction? Because now this is where it's using the existing railway, so we kind of need to... So first things first, let's just kibosh the signalling discipline, because no one cares for signalling. They get all the money, they get the fancy hotels, and they get the really high T&C rates at Christmas. You know, they get 5-figure sums to just take a week of nights on the blinking, doing wheels off testing commissioning. God, they get massive rates. I don't get paid those rates at Christmas. Jeez. Anyway, right. So let's do a little bit of a straight, and then because that'll give us some space for the S&C, and then what's that? 60, 70. That'll do. 71. Perfect. Nicely balanced. Marvellous, marvellous, marvellous. absolutely. You do need all parts of the story, which is why it's kind of fun to have all the different sort of elements. That's why it's quite cool. There's so many leftist transport nerds doing YouTube stuff. This is a bit more awkward though, which is kind of this layout is a bit more interesting. So I'm using another form. This is the double junction, which again, British Rail got rid of a lot of these because they required. Well, I've no idea why they got rid of them. Well, there are reasons, but it requires this bit of track is a bit of a pain to maintain. So you know, kind of flat crossings are a bit of a pain anyway. So from a maintenance perspective, we try and get rid of these in a modern layout. You try and do a kind of a ladder design, but double junctions at this time, you see loads of double junctions on the Victorian Railway, absolutely loads. So. No harm in those appearing. Oh yeah, I didn't want to do that, did I, at all? That was a stack. This is going to be a bit of an awkward station to come into. Different stations are different. So it's a shame that you can't do curved platforms in the game. But 70 will do. 70 kilometers an hour, that'll do. It's actually quicker now than the through route, but never mind. So let's just come round to here. Yeah, okay, and then bring that round. 50. Yeah, that's more like it. Oh, that's too flat. Looks too flat, actually. Looks unrealistically flat. Let's bring it around a bit further. Yeah, I think that'll do it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, perfect. That's kind of got the balance I want, I think. Lovely. Yeah, it's a shame you can't have curved stations because they look a lot more realistic and it's kind of fun to do that. But I can understand why they don't. But you still have to kind of shoehorn them into the landscape, so you still end up with curved approaches. So yeah, it's not so bad. Right now, so that now means that the station is connected. Now I do need a crossover. Yeah, I will need a crossover. There's no avoiding that. I think it will need to be. Let's do it. 80, lovely. 50 miles an hour to get out. We'll replicate that on the other side. So the next station we've got is Haverhill, or Haverhill, I'd imagine, since it's English rather than Scottish. This is fiddly. I like this because it's a really nice looking little town. This because it's kind of this road that curves around the coast, which means it's going to be a pig to do a station in, which makes me even happier because I have no idea how I'm going to get it to work. I think it's brilliant. What I might need to do is actually set up some side. The thing is, the challenge is that the freight is sort of serving. If I do this, no, what do I need to do? Yeah. So if I do buildings and then a freight stop. So yeah, the point is the station is sort of supposed to be serving as much of this as possible. It actually isn't anyway, so maybe it's not a big deal. Maybe I will just convert this out and out into a passenger line and then add an additional freight. So what routes are actually running through here? We've got the jellies and jams are coming through here. So could the jellies and jams actually have a little sort of in and out set of sidings up here, and then we'd have to set up a little horse and cart jobbo to kind of whiz them around. That might be what we need to do here, and then this bit would just become the dedicated passenger platforms. I think that's what we're going to end up doing because there's less physical pressure on this side to kind of for that to be an issue, and it's kind of quite realistic to have a sort of this T-shape terminal platforms for freight. That's quite common. We only need 2 tracks. We're going to make them 120 meters. We're going to whiz these actually 160, but I'll get rid of some of the platform length. This is exactly what we're going to do. Right, there we go. Nope, there we are. Boom. I just have a think, how's this going to work in terms of getting them out and back? The challenge I've got is that this is... If they do that, we need to essentially have a bit of a T-junction, which is just going to be a bit more tricky. So what I'm describing here is that essentially what we're going to need to do is have something that comes in, and then it also needs to do the same thing on the other side to actually get our jams and jellies in. At which point, does it become more straightforward to simply... Is it possible to expand this? Can we squeeze 2 platforms in? Can we, even if it's just 2 passenger platforms, or 2 freight platforms? It's a tricky one. I don't think we're going to be able to. This is why I like this one. As an engineer, it's when it's all this, all the constraints compile and pile up and make everything an absolute pig in a nightmare, is what my day job looks like. So, yeah, I'm not sure about this one actually. So if I shove the... Let's have a look at this again, the scale. And if I ended up with something like this, I'd then need a bridge to hop over it, but that might not be too much of a problem. That's a road that... What does that connect up with? There is already a crossing there, so that's not an issue. It's happened, folks. It's happened. I made the executive decision. So... Let's just have a think about the angle of this, because we need to really think carefully about what the junction will look like. This is freight. It's good. I also think I might not do... Yeah, I'm going to do a... Yeah, there we are. I'm happy with that. Boom. There we are, it's happened. Which now... Oh, golly. Yeah, very limited choice on what that's going to look like in terms of... Actually, I don't want to do that. Kind of want this to be all roads to all roads, because it's not going to be that this is a double... Okay, for now we're going to double junction it, and what... Because this might end up shooting off in this direction to connect up with other places anyway, let's face it. So, for now, that's what we're going to do. And we're going to have a little triangle junction here. Oh god. There we are. Funnily enough, it's all quite nicely balanced inside this... No, that's not a goer. That is a goer. It's still sort of working. That's... Don't mind a bit of... there we are. What's this actually look like from a vertical track perspective? Not too bad. It's all kind of on the flat, all the straight and level. Yeah. Okay. How does this thing connect? Not particularly well, so we need to kind of come back to that. I'm quite happy to leave the roads there like that, actually. I quite like that. It's quite fun. So... Right. So the jams and jellies are here because it's freight, but actually what I need to do is get rid of all the freight on here. This is now going to become a passenger station. Kiboshed, kiboshed, kiboshed. And let's see. We're going to finish this next time because I'm going to have to wrap this up very soon. In fact, very much imminently. However, we're going to finish this station for starters, and then that'll be that. So, how far can I get this in here? Let's build the annex for this bit first, and then make it fit accordingly. Oof. There we go. That's a conversion. I'm happy with that. And we've got this little set of sidings in here, which we'll have to then make work. Oh, it's a mad rush to the end without any particular climax, and everything's chaos, and lots of the lines don't work now because I've broken them. However, I'm kind of alright with that at the moment. Let's just add station. There we go. And then get rid of this one. Yeah, I need some connections here. Why not do an 80 metre and then just run a shot from Bury? Because I like the realism of the... It's a bit like what the Great Central was, which had a weavy bit, and then it had its nice straight bit. So it's making use of the existing infrastructure for a short stretch, and then its own dedicated infrastructure, not for the whole thing, but for kind of the lion's share, if you like. So it kind of emanates a bit of the... echoes a bit of the real Great Central for me. We do need one last thing here, which is... let me just get this... which is a connection like this. Some absolutely honking S&C. This is not going to be pretty, but I'm kind of liking the fact that it's going to be a mess. There we go. And we need a similar... Let me just think which way around it needs to be on the other side. So that's connecting up to there. Which means that this side needs to connect up to there on the other side. Which I think now means that that works. There we go. So the jams have made their noble return. And that's Haverhill sorted. Everyone, oh my goodness, that's been fun. We've not finished the line yet, but that's because we're like, what, lots of time through, plenty and long enough. We'll return to the feed next time, where we'll finish the line and maybe have a look at some of the Metropolitan railways that have been appearing down down towards the kind of the big city, which I expect to be the one that really expands. Anyway, for now, cheerio. Also, I'm going to keep waving, and then I'm going to clap.